Hey y'all, and welcome to my channel, Kitchen Notes from Nancy. If you're new here, I'd like to welcome you to our neighborhood, and I hope you decide to subscribe before you leave today. And if you're already a member of our neighborhood, I'd like to greet you with the customary, hey neighbor. In today's recipe, I am going to show you a magnificent twist on a traditional taco night. Today's recipe is a delicious taco soup that can be eaten at any point of the year. So, if you want to learn how to make this delicious recipe, all you gotta do is stay tuned. But you already know what I need. Before we hop into this video, go ahead and smash that like button for me. It helps me out more than you know. And if you really like what you see, go ahead and hit me with a share and a comment below. So, without further ado, let's hop right into this amazing recipe. So the ingredients for our taco night with a twist meal are pretty simple. You're going to need a pound of ground beef. I have here a small can of diced chilies. I'm not going to use this entire can, and you can omit that if you're making this for children or something and you don't want it to be too spicy. I have a few of the pickled jalapenos because I'm going to put them in the soup, and they're also going to be used for the recipe that's going to complement this, which is a jalapeno cheddar cornbread. That will be tomorrow's video, so you don't want to miss it. You're going to need some taco seasoning mix, and you can use the taco seasoning mix of your choice. It can be store brand, it can be whatever you want. I just picked up Old El Paso. For mine, I am a huge fan of black beans, so I'm going to be using 2 cans of black beans. But you can substitute a can of pinto beans if you would like to. That's not a problem. So you can do 1 can of black beans, 1 can of pinto. I'm doing 2 cans of black beans just because I really like them that way. Here I have some rotel tomatoes. And you know, that's just tomatoes with the green chilies. That's why I said we're not going to use all of these. I have a can of diced tomatoes here. These are just the petite diced tomatoes. I really wanted crushed tomatoes, but Walmart was out of them. A can of tomato sauce. I have a medium red onion chopped. We're going to be using some garlic. I have some frozen corn, and we're not going to use all of it, just a little bit. We'll be using the rest of the corn in the jalapeno cornbread. And then we're going to add some salsa, and this is just the Walmart salsa. You can use whatever salsa you want. You can home make a salsa. You can use a homemade salsa if you want. It doesn't matter. And then for serving it, we're going to have some cheese and also some tortilla chips. So we are going to hop right into this recipe since the onion is already chopped. This recipe is super quick. So it's great for a weeknight, a Tuesday night meal. I know some of y'all are probably saying, why is she cooking soup in the middle of June? Well, it's because my house is a steady temperature of a cool, calm 68 degrees, okay? So if I have a taste for something, I make it no matter what the season is. And I am struggling here just a little bit with this backing, so I'm gonna go off camera and get this done. Okay, so I finally got that out of the pack, and I didn't add any oil or anything to this. I'm just going to see how much oil the beef generates. It should generate enough for this to go ahead and sear, and then I don't have to drain it off. And y'all already know about this pot. It's cast iron, but it's coated. It's by Lodge. There's a link in the bottom of the description bar. This is one of my favorite things to make soups and stews in. So since I'm waiting for this pot to heat up a little bit, what I'm gonna do is go off camera, let it start browning, and then I'll come back to you. Okay, so our beef has started to brown. And so what I'm going to do at this point is go ahead and throw in my onion. And we're just going to let this onion cook with the beef. Okay, so we are going to allow the onion and beef to continue to cook down, and then we'll move on to the next step. So now that the beef is pretty much done, we'll put a tablespoon of garlic in here and just stir that around. And I used 85-15, I believe, beef. So or either 80-20, one of them. I think it's 85-15 because there is no real oil in the bottom of my pan. As you can see, there's very little. So I don't have to drain my pot. And so that's why I like to use that particular beef, because there's rarely ever, too much oil that comes off. So what I'm doing now is I'm just breaking up my beef into just little smaller pieces. And here comes the fun part. And this is what makes this recipe so easy. So now I am going to dump a can of the diced tomatoes in. Literally at this point, you just start opening cans and dumping stuff in. I'm going to open the tomato sauce and dump it in. Oh, I did forget to put beef broth out, y'all. I don't know why I always forget my broths. I've got to do better. All right, I opened the can of black beans and drained them and rinsed them. So I'm going to dump both of those in. Okay. It does not get easier than this soup. So now I'm going in with the rotel tomatoes. And also some of the green chilies, just about 2 tablespoons worth. All right. So that's gonna add a little heat to ours. Up next, I'm going in with some frozen corn, and you don't even have to thaw the corn. Give that a stir. All right, and I am going to grab that beef broth that I forgot. You can use chicken broth if you want, because beef broth can be rather potent. So what I'm going to do, because I don't have low sodium beef broth, is I just put in about 2 cups of beef broth, and now I'm going to go in with about 1 cup of water. So I'm gonna go in with the rest of that beef broth, because we're going to let it cook down. Alright, I'm gonna add in some salsa, probably just about 3 tablespoons worth, 4. Be sure to check the description box below for the ingredients and measurements on this. All right, and now we are going to add our taco seasonings. if I can get my pack open. Y'all, I'm on the struggle bus with these packets. So we're gonna go 1 whole packet. And then I'm gonna give it a stir and taste it. And if I think it needs the other pack, which I think it will because of the amount that it is, we'll add it in. But we're going to just give it a stir here and taste it. I told you, this is super easy and it's super delicious. And it's an awesome twist on the traditional taco night. So we're going to give it a little taste. I think I do want that other taco packet. Right? So I'm gonna put that in. Okay? And last but not least, just for a little bit more added heat, I diced up a few of those jalapenos and I'm gonna dump them in. And remember, if you need to adjust this for some little ones or something, you can omit all of this spicy stuff and you can just make it a basic taco soup. Now what I'm going to do is let this simmer for about 20-25 minutes, and in that time I am going to make my cornbread. Alrighty guys, thank you so much for sticking with me to the end of this video. This was the final product and it was absolutely delicious. I decided to add a little bit more tomatoes, cheese, topped it with a few green onion, and some sour cream. If you try this recipe, make sure you come back and tell me how you enjoyed it. Don't forget to smash that like button. And until next time, bye neighbors.